CQ calling all radio amateurs and listeners. This is Golf Bravo 2 Romeo Sierra, the news broadcasting service of the Radio Society of Great Britain. This broadcast comes to you in plain English from amateur radio station Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta in Mappishall, Bedfordshire. Welcome and thanks for joining us. It's Sunday the 3rd of August and here is the GB2RS news broadcast prepared for you by the RSGB for all radio amateurs and listeners. You can also find this news bulletin on our website at rsgb.org along with links to groups and organisations that we may mention in this broadcast. This week's news headlines. We invite you to send your nomination for the Golf 5 Romeo Papa Trophy, how you and the family can get involved with the National Radio Centre's spy transmitter activities this summer, and the QSL Bureau gives an update to the Golf 4 Mike to Golf 4 Sierra series of card collections. We'll have more on those items shortly. But first, the Golf 5 Romeo Papa Trophy is an annual award to encourage newcomers to HF DXing. The award is open to anyone who has recently discovered and who has made good progress in HF DXing. So, if you are an established HF DXer and if you want to recommend someone for the 2025 Golf 5 Romeo Papa Trophy, then nominate them now. Your nomination should be an up-and-coming HF DXer who has made rapid progress in the last year and has some real achievements to show. For example, they may have a good total of new countries worked or some serious HF DXpedition activity. Please email your nomination to Ian Greenshields, that's Golf 4 Foxtrot Sierra Uniform. Ian's email address is hf.manager@rsgb.org.uk. That's hotelfoxtrot.manager@rsgb.org.uk, and your email should arrive no later than Friday the 12th of September. Our National Radio Centre announced that their first summer spy transmitter event is on Tuesday the 5th of April. That's the 5th of August. This family-friendly activity will turn you into spy hunters as you explore Bletchley Park and look for hidden transmitters. The event starts at 10:30 a.m. and spaces are limited to 12 groups. If you can't make this date, there'll be two more events. The first will be on the 14th and the second on the 20th of August. You can find details in the What's On section of the Bletchley Park website. Just go to bletchleypark.org.uk. Now, do you have a call sign in the Golf 4 Mike to Golf 4 Sierra series? If so, the QSL Bureau have made a change to your card collection group. All cards and envelopes will transfer to the current Golf 4 Tango to Golf 4 Zulu manager. That's Peter, Golf 4 X-Ray Echo X-Ray, and that will form a new enlarged group covering Golf 4 Mike to Golf 4 Zulu. The current manager, Cliff, Golf 4 Mike Alpha Romeo, has retired, and the Bureau thank him for his service to members. You can find details of QSL sub-managers and addresses at rsgb.org/QSL. Select List of QSL sub-managers from the right-hand menu. RSGB volunteers will run Morse activities and DMR operations at the West Sussex International Jamboree, which is on Thursday the 7th and Friday the 8th of August. Listen for youngsters operating Golf Bravo 0 Whiskey Sierra Juliet using DMR. They'll be on RSGB Youth Talk Group 23554. You'll also find them on Worldwide Talk Group 91 and UK call talk group 2350. They'd appreciate a call between 9:30 a.m. and 5 p.m. on Thursday the 7th of August and between 9:30 a.m. and noon on Friday the 8th of August. The July 2025 edition of Radcom Basics is now available. Radcom Basics is for new amateurs and for amateurs who wish to refresh their skills and knowledge. Among others, this edition's articles help you to learn about spectrum analyzers, near vertical incidence skywave propagation, and how to use a doublet as a multi-band antenna. You can see all Radcom publications at rsgb.org/Radcom. HamSci, which is the Ham Radio Science Citizens Investigation Group, is preparing a series of meteor scatter experiments which will operate during two well-known meteor showers. The Perseids are on the 12th and 13th of August, and the Geminids are on the 12th and 13th of December. The group aim to collect data during meteor scatter events using the 10-meter and 6-meter bands. And for more information, you can visit hamsci.org/Mike Sierra Quebec Papa, and I'll spell that phonetically for you. That's Hotel Alpha Mike Sierra Charlie India .org/Mike Sierra Quebec Papa. And now a reminder for you to please send details of all your news and events to radcom@rsgb.org.uk. The deadline for submissions is 10 a.m. on the Thursday prior to the Sunday broadcasts each week. Well, now we have news of rallies and events. Part 1 of the British Amateur Television Club's Convention for Amateur TV 2025 was today, the 3rd. That was held at the Midland Air Museum in Coventry, and we hope that everyone enjoyed that. It included a show and tell, test and fix it, and bring and buy. Another one that was earlier today was the Kings Lynn Amateur Radio Club Rally, which was held at Gaywood Community Centre, and again we hope that everyone enjoyed themselves at that event. The Cockenzie and Port Seaton Amateur Radio Club's annual mini rally and junk night will take place on Friday the 8th of August at Port Seaton Community Centre. That's in South Seaton Park, Port Seaton, and the postcode is Echo Hotel 320 Bravo Golf, and that event runs from 6 to 8:30 p.m. And now we have the special event news. Members of the Radio Amateur Association of Western Greece, Sierra Zulu 1 Alpha, will operate special event station Sierra X-Ray 17 Alpha Sierra Tango Romeo Oscar, that's SX17 Astro, until the 8th of August. The station celebrates the 17th Pan-Hellenic Expedition of Amateur Astronomers. Certificates are available if you work the station, and for more information visit their website, which is tinyurl.com/Sierra Zulu 1 Alpha 2025. That's tinyurl.com/SZ1 A for Alpha 2025. Special event station 8 Kilo 3 Echo X-Ray Papa Oscar is active from the 2025 exposition in Osaka, Japan, and they'll be active until the 13th of October, and they were spotted using FT8 on the HF bands. For more information, go to qrz.com and look up the call sign 8 Kilo 3 Echo X-Ray Papa Oscar. And now we have the DX news. Michelle, Foxtrot 5 Lima Romeo Lima, is active as Charlie November 2 Delta X-Ray. He's operating from near Kenitra, Morocco, and he'll be active until the 20th of August. He's using CW, SSB and FT8 on the 40 to 6 meter bands, and you can QSL via Michelle's home call sign, which is Foxtrot 5 Lima Romeo Lima. And finally, special call sign Lima Alpha 100 Alpha is active throughout 2025 to mark the 100th anniversary of the first amateur radio two-way contact between Norway and the USA, and that took place in November 1925. You can QSL direct via the Bureau or through QRZ.com, and to find out more go to QRZ.com and look up the call sign Lima Alpha 100 Alpha. And now we have the contest news. The UK 6 metre group's summer marathon started on Saturday the 3rd of May and ends shortly today the 3rd of August. Using all modes on the 6 metre band, the exchange is your 4-character locator. And earlier today, the 3rd, it was the RSGB's 432 MHz low power contest, which ran from 0800 to 1200 UTC, and that contest used all modes on the 70 centimetre band. And now for upcoming contests. On Tuesday the 5th, it's the RSGB 144 MHz FM activity contest, which runs from 1800 to 1855 UTC. Using FM on the 2 metre band, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. Also on Tuesday the 5th, it's the RSGB's 144 MHz UK activity contest, which runs from 1900 to 2130 UTC. Using all modes on the 2 metre band, the exchange is signal report, serial number and locator. Then on Wednesday the 6th, it's the RSGB 144 MHz FT8 activity 4-hour contest, which runs from 1700 to 2100 UTC. Using FT8 on the 2 metre band, the exchange is signal report and your 4-character locator. Also on Wednesday the 6th, it's the RSGB's 144 MHz FT8 activity 2-hour contest, and that runs from 1900 to 2100 UTC. Using FT8 on the 2 metre band, the exchange is report and 4-character locator, and if you entered the 4-hour contest, then you can also enter the 2-hour contest. The RSGB machine-generated modes contest starts at 1400 UTC on Saturday the 9th and ends at 1400 UTC on Sunday the 10th of August. Using machine-generated modes on the 6 and 2 metre bands, the exchange is your report and 4-character locator. And the Worked All Europe DXCW contest starts at 0000 UTC on Saturday the 9th and ends at 23:59 UTC on Sunday the 10th of August. Using Morse code on the 80 to 10 metre bands where contests are allowed, the exchange is signal report and serial number. Well, that's all for the contest news. We now move across to the HF radio propagation report. This was compiled for you by Golf 0 Kilo Yankee Alpha, Golf 3 Yankee Lima Alpha and Golf 4 Bravo Alpha Oscar on Thursday the 31st of July. Last week was very much a repeat of the week before. We had relatively calm geomagnetic conditions and few solar flares. Those which did occur were minor C-class events. The KP index never got above 3 and the solar flux index was in the range 140 to 150. The F2 layer maximum usable frequency over 3,000 kilometers rose to 21 MHz, which is normal for the summer period. A team from the Norfolk Amateur Radio Club was active as Golf Mike 0 Foxtrot Romeo Tango portable from the Shetland Islands for the IOTA contest. They were workable from Juliet Oscar 02 November on 14 and 21 MHz for much of the contest period. The distance to Shetland from central UK is around 887 kilometres, or 551 miles. So given the distance involved, the 21 MHz openings were probably sporadic E, but they were loud for hours on end. Other DX last week included Tango 30 Tango 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 from Western Kiribati on the 10 metre band using FT8 over the North Pole. November Mike 8 Alpha from East Malaysia was also on the 10 metre band using FT8. X-Ray Whiskey 4 Kilo Victor from Laos was on the 12 metre band operating FT8. 3 Bravo 9 Sierra Papa on Rodriguez Island was seen on 17 and 12 metres using FT8, and there were also worked using Morse code on the 40, 30, 20 and 15 metre bands. So that's not bad for summer DX, and if the KP index stays low, we could get similar next week. NOAA predicts that the solar flux index will be in the range of 150 to 160 next week. Unsettled geomagnetic conditions are forecast from the 7th to the 4th of August, with a maximum KP index of 5. And finally, there is talk of a possible large sunspot group on the far side of the Sun. The region belongs to a cluster of spots including active region 4136, 4139, 4143, which were last seen earlier this month. Solar rotation will carry what remains of these regions back into view next week, so keep an eye on solarham.com for up-to-date details. Well, that's all for the HF propagation news. We now move across to the VHF and up propagation news, and this was compiled by Golf 3 Yankee Lima Alpha and Golf 4 Bravo Alpha Oscar. The slightly unsettled weather will last into next week, although there are signs that high pressure will return in the middle of the week. Models disagree on detail, with some bringing another thundery low into the south later on. This means that there will be some tropo, and in high summer this tends to be strongest around the coasts. To benefit from these conditions inland, it's better to wait for night cooling. As usual with thundery weather, it's a good chance for you to listen for rain scatter on the gigahertz bands. Another mode that deserves attention is meteor scatter. Look for the early stirrings of the August Perseids, which peak around the 12th and 13th of August. Surprisingly, aurora remains in the limelight. Periodic alerts suggest it's worth turning your VHF beams north if you notice signs of fluttery HF signals, or if the KP index rises to 5 or more. If auroral activity appears on the 10 or 6 metre bands, check the higher bands as well as the event develops. Sporadic E is now less common than in June, but it is still worth considering. Check the cluster maps and PropQuest to see how the day unfolds. For moon bounce operators, moon declination is negative, falling to minimum on Tuesday the 5th. So moon windows and peak elevation will also decline. Path losses reached maximum at apogee on the 1st of August, so they start to fall again. 144 MHz sky noise starts the coming week moderate, but will rise to high by Monday, and it will reach over 300 degrees Kelvin by Tuesday evening before it starts falling back. And that's all from the propagation team this week. And indeed, that's all for this week's Golf Bravo 2 Romeo Sierra news broadcast, which was brought to you by Graham, Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta, in Mappishall, Bedfordshire. The Radio Society of Great Britain compiled the news, and they represent amateur radio and radio amateurs in the UK and abroad. If you have a news item to share, please email it to us as far in advance as possible so that we can include it for you free of charge in the GB2RS news broadcasts, Radcom magazine and the RSGB website. Send your news to the editorial team. Their email address is radcom@rsgb.org.uk. If your news is time sensitive, then it's really important that you send it to us by 10 a.m. on the Thursday before our news broadcasts. We retain copyright over all material transmitted. You can find information about amateur radio on our website, which is rsgb.org. And you can also download the full schedule of GB2RS broadcasts from rsgb.org/GB2RS schedule. Well, we wish you 7-3 from the GB2RS news team. We hope you have a lovely Sunday evening and a great week ahead. This is Graham, Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Delta in Mappishall, Bedfordshire, now listening for any calls or reports.